No, we can't control the outcomes.
Yeah.
But what we do control as traders is the discipline. The outcomes come from the discipline.
100%.
You know, and that's life in general. It's not just trading.
Yeah.
You won't control how life pans out.
True. Yeah.
But how disciplined you are. If you're in the gym every day, if you're eating healthy, if you're handling your business, if you're doing right by people, things are bound to play out right for you.
100%.
You know?
So
and that's just how it is in trading as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's such.
Welcome back to the FX Cartel podcast. As you know, I'm the host Devo, and I'm joined with Sham today. And we've got a very special guest from HFM. He's a market analyst at HFM. We've got Lethu with us. Welcome, brother.
What's happening, my brother? Great to be here.
Thank you for being here. Today we're going to discuss your journey.
Sure.
And how you became a market analyst for
Market
HFM.
analyst, yeah.
And then, we're going to take it from there.
100%. No, I'm looking forward to the conversation. Always great to be here. Shout out to both you and Sham for inviting me.
Sweet, brother. Thank you. Let's kick off. Do you want to maybe start with your journey?
Sure,
how you got into trading, and then how you ended up.
Okay. So, my name is Lethu Lushaba, also known as Maestro. I'm a senior market analyst for HFM. And basically, I've been trading for the past 9 years. The reason I started trading was because I was doing a business with a friend of mine, who is also my mentor in the space.
Okay.
And a lot of things were changing in the business at that time. It was the time of COVID, and a lot of businesses were changing. So we decided we want to go into a business where we can have full control, but also where we can have time and location freedom, right? That was the reason we started trading.
Right.
So it was a hard journey for sure. It took me a while to get the hang of things. But when I really understood what the business is all about, I can say I found an edge in the market that I've been able to perfect over the years. And I'm very good at what I do, and I'm very specific at what I do as well.
Yeah. I've watched some of your live streams through HFM.
Sure.
And for sure, just based on your technical analysis and stuff like that. In actual fact, there's sometimes where I watch you and, I always speak to Sham. So I always watch you and I'm like,
Sure.
okay, got some tips and tricks from
I
you.
appreciate that. I appreciate
But
that.
very interesting point. I think we started around that same area of trading, and it was difficult at that time. Me being
course.
an entrepreneur,
Yes.
and that's why I turned to trading. And
100%.
that's why I started my journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also mentioned time. And I think when we first had the talk, that's what trading also allows, is time.
Of course.
Right? You can be anywhere in the world and you're able to trade.
100%, you know, and the fact that you also don't have to confine yourself to be at a specific place when you trade, that's, it's the benefit of being a trader.
Of course.
As long as you have the skill set, internet connection, a device, you can do the job,
Exactly.
100%.
100%, yeah. So from that journey that you just told us now, how did you end up in HFM?
So I've got a whole journey with HFM. Shout out to my brother Musa Baloyi also, who's one of the main BDs at HFM right now. He actually onboarded me onto HFM 2021.
Wow, okay.
Right? And we took on a journey together where I had told him that, I just want to have a platform that's reliable in terms of trading conditions, and then if I can see things are going well for me, I will onboard my community as well.
Right.
So I had a pretty decent sized trading community. I've been teaching or mentoring people on trading for the past 6 years or so.
Okay.
Right? So I always look for the right place to, because when you're a leader, you have to position your people in the right place, right?
Correct, yeah.
So I wanted a platform that I knew was well regulated, has been around for a while. So I started making relationships with HFM, and that was like 2021, 2022.
Okay.
Then I really started engaging in the platform, and around 2024, one of the previous market analysts, asked me, or I actually had a conversation with him at the FMAS 2024.
Okay.
And I told him, listen, I see what you do. I'm actually very interested to learn about it. Let me shadow you. Let me see, what your day-to-day is like as a market analyst. Let me understand your role in the broker. And I just took some time to learn about what his role was. And I saw that, to be honest, this is the type of industry. Obviously, I'm already within the industry.
Yeah.
So when I look at his position and how things were, it aligned with how I do my thing. So
Right.
it made it very simple for me to say, you know what, I do want to be a market analyst. And lucky enough, this was in a time where HFM was also looking to replace the market analyst. So I found myself in a position of fate, let me say.
Right.
And I made that decision because I was a full-time trader.
Yeah.
I've actually been a full-time trader for the past 6 or 7 years.
Right.
And HFM is the first company that I've worked for, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So from school, you never
So
worked,
I
just
went
traded?
into entrepreneurship straight out of school, my
Yeah.
brother. And the reason was because I could see, the world is changing at an
Yeah.
extreme rate. So I decided to, get involved in other businesses, right? A travel business and other types of businesses when I came out of school.
Yeah.
But then I happened to come across trading because I was networking and always in an entrepreneurial environment. I found myself meeting the right people, found someone that said, you know what, let's learn how to trade. He literally walked me through the entire journey of how to trade. So
Nice.
that's also a good friend of mine, mentor, Mr. Jeremy Cohen. And I owe him a lot. He's actually basically retired now. And traveling the world with his family, but he really put me on the foundations of trading.
Right.
But then from there, I just took it on, a different path.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes you get someone who's just gonna show you that few little steps of what you can do, but it's on you to take it and expand it.
100%.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have said it any better, because when we have mentorship and we speaking to like students and stuff like that, we also say the same thing.
100%.
We give you the information and the education and stuff, but it's your
How you can apply it.
Exactly.
100%. And
yeah,
how serious
and
you're
your
gonna
stuff,
be.
yes.
Yeah.
exactly. No, 100%. No, that's very interesting.
So a lot of people think we come into trading and it's like so simple and we're making quick money, but it's been almost a decade for me.
right. Yeah.
The journey that I've been in when it comes to trading and understanding the markets overall. And I can say it took me a solid 3 to 4 years to really get this thing together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't happen over time.
No, never.
Even after, learning and whatever, you're going to go through those doubts.
In fact, I even tell my students, the ones that make profit early, I'm a little bit scared because they expect it to be like that all the time.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It's gonna be continuous.
And then
And
when
do
they
hit
have the dip,
Yeah.
sometimes it hits them too hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas a person who struggles in the beginning and has the resilience to stick to it, when they do peak, they're more likely to be consistent.
Right.
Because they've already gone through the hardships,
Yeah, I think it was a couple of days ago, I was listening to another podcast, and the guy was saying that with trading, you should have like an elevated scale. So it shouldn't be a spike, because once you get a spike in the beginning, and we're talking about profits here,
Yeah.
generally that dip down
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
the
worst
retracement,
time.
right?
The retracement.
Everyone buys NASDAQ and then the retracement happens.
Right. So that exactly that, right? Once you hit your peak and then you on this high horse,
Sure.
there's gonna be a dip.
Of course.
Right?
Every trader
And-
goes through those cycles.
Yeah. And I'll be very honest here. And, I think I'm experiencing that now, is that dip. Like
Sure.
where I was on a high
Sure.
and then now I'm like
Yeah,
starting
starting
now
to see,
okay, there's lessons to be learned, more lessons to be learned.
100%.
So it doesn't matter how, and I'm sure in your case the same thing, and I think for all of us we can
course.
agree to it. It doesn't matter how much you're always going to be learning. There's always things that you're going to be learning.
Yeah, 100%, because the market is always shifting, right?
100%.
And there's no way to say that what you did last year is still going to operate this year.
Exactly.
Or what you do this year is still going to work next year.
100%,
You
yeah.
have to be very good if you're a trader at being adjustable, right? And understanding that the market is the coach.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you
I
learn from
agree.
the market. Yeah. So being a market analyst or analyst,
Analyst.
an analyst, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Apologies, English guys. Sorry. What are the few things that when you're sitting in front of people, obviously
Sure.
it's a lot, right? I mean, I know kind of how it feels, when you're doing, mentorship and,
Of course,
teaching
of
students. But that's in a very small scale. You obviously, there's hundreds of viewers that's watching you. So what are the few things that you do in the market
Okay.
when you're analyzing?
So always I tell people, when it comes to being a trader, your routine is really what's going to formulate the whole process of being profitable.
Right.
So my day doesn't actually start from me looking at the markets. It starts by me waking up at a specific time in the morning. I do my morning prayers. I go to the gym. I try to, just regulate myself in a way that I can be in gratitude, be grateful for the fact that I'm alive,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
Because I know that every single day is a gift. So when I come to the markets, I'm coming from a perspective of, okay, it's another chance.
Right.
Right? Whatever I
yeah.
did yesterday, whatever loss I took or profit I made, it's a clean slate.
Right.
It's another opportunity to get it again, right? And the first thing I'll do, I come to the office, of course, and I greet my colleagues. And, when I sit down and I tell myself, okay, now we're getting to work now. So I'm going to put all distractions aside. So I limit the distractions I have, and I really just zone into what's happening fundamentally, technically, geopolitically. I do my research, right? So I spend a good amount of hours before I even trade just reading, analyzing, reading reports, understanding what's going on in the economy. Okay, fine. Now I have a different perspective. I have an understanding.
Right.
And I put out my daily market breakdown with HFM every single day. So I do a daily market breakdown for all the clients of HFM to understand what's the overview of the overall markets.
Right.
And then from there, I start my agenda by mapping out what my technicals are, key levels, what my zones are, where can I possibly take advantage of the market situation, you know? And then I simply wait when that 3:30 session hits and my technicals are aligning, I do the job.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Waiting patiently.
Waiting
for the-
patiently.
So a lot of people don't understand. They think we're sitting on the charts, placing trades the entire day.
Yeah.
But really, it's more of a, Usain Bolt said something that always sticks with me. He said, I broke the world record in 9 seconds.
Right.
But it took me 4 years.
Wow.
Right? 4 years of training for 9 seconds of work. So it's exactly the same as what we're going through, right?
Yeah.
We can actually analyze the market the whole day. And in that 5-minute candle, a lot can happen.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
And
we find that a lot. We've got a setup group, where we share our setups, and we get an inbox. What's happening? Nothing now.
Yeah, it's like someone wants to trade, right? They're itching.
Itching.
100%, just to pull the trigger.
No, exactly.
But when you realize, you get to a point where the market isn't always giving what I needed to give me. So I'm not trading because I'm bored. I'm not trading because I've got nothing else to do. Right? We actually taking on risk here.
That's it.
We need to actually be conscious. Pick your battles wisely.
Right.
Yeah.
Boils down to what we say again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. The thing is, and exactly that, Sham mentioned that, we also get that where, obviously we've got a community and we share setups and stuff like that.
Of course.
And it just doesn't come like that. You know what I mean? A setup just does not come like that. As much as a lot of traders say, oh, I can go and look at a chart. And find
know
a
what
trade,
to do.
right? Or know what to do.
Yeah.
Yes, you might know what to do, but you're gonna wait for your entry.
Of course.
Right? You're
Of
waiting
course.
for the entry.
Very
You're
important.
waiting for certain things to happen, right?
True.
Whether you're trading with key levels or whatever it is, right? You're
100%.
waiting for certain things to happen. So nobody can say that they can go to the chart right now and find an entry. And I think that's what a lot of people, when people rely on that information, they don't realize that because they're not doing the hard work.
They don't realize that trading is actually a business, right? And when you have a business, you need a solid business plan.
Right.
Yep.
When we have a setup, the setup is the business plan.
Exactly.
But it takes time for the business plan to play out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's exactly how, I try to depict it, especially even on my live streams. I tell them all the time, the rules, we plan the trade, we trade the plan. If it
So good.
deviates, then we shouldn't trade it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That is awesome.
You said trading is a business, and we always say that
Treat it like a
business.
business.
When you take a loss, think about it as you're paying salaries, or you're paying lights and water, or
100%.
rent,
It's
or
rent.
whatever the
100%.
thing is.
That's
right?
very true. brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it that nothing is wrong with taking a loss.
Nothing.
Right? Nothing is wrong with taking loss as long as we're learning from those losses as
Exactly.
well. Right? So the same thing with a business, when money goes out, you have to learn from that, right? Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, rent and certain things you
That you're
can't get
giving.
away, right? But, if you take a loss in a business, then you need to learn from that loss. You need
Agreed.
Why did you take a loss? I mean, me and Sham were speaking about something that happened to him a few years back. And he was saying that, he took one of the biggest losses in his life.
Sure.
Right? And, he had to learn something from it for him to get back up.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. So,
And it's not easy. It's not easy.
That's the thing.
You take that loss, and it's how you're going to bounce back from it.
Yeah.
When you're a trader, that's it.
You got to take the lessons learned from that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Why did I take that loss? What was the reasons? Jot it down.
Yeah.
And keep a mental note of it
Yeah.
so that it doesn't occur again.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
You
doesn't
gotta
occur again.
inspect what you expect.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? You
Yeah.
can't expect to be profitable, but then you don't inspect yourself as to what is your process, what is your mindset, what is your management skills. Like, are you just going about it randomly, or do you actually have a set process you
Right.
follow?
Yeah.
Most people, if you really sit down and talk to them and ask them what their trading process is, they haven't really defined it.
Yeah.
And that's why they keep having random results.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
weeks they're making, some weeks they're losing. But the real secret to trading, it's not to say you can't lose or you won't lose. We know, all of us know as traders, when we come into trading, we will lose. Right?
Yeah.
So we know we will lose, but the thing is, it's how much.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
management.
It's how much we lose. When we win, it's how much we win.
yeah.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
If we can minimize those losses and maximize our gains,
Yeah.
what did Drake say? We win some, we lose some,
yeah.
long as the outcome is income. And
Right.
that's the reality
Yeah.
of this business.
Yeah.
We are going to lose trades. It's a guarantee. I tell traders that from the word go. When you're coming here, no, it is going to happen.
Yeah.
You are going to lose money, right? But also understand there is going to be a day where it goes your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's two sides of the coin. And we don't know the sequence. If I tell you right now, here's a coin, you can flip it. You know the options are heads and tails. But we don't know the sequence that will land heads
right.
and tails.
Right.
So the same thing in trading. We know we will win. We just don't know the sequence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't know when those wins will
Exactly.
occur exactly.
Yeah.
So we keep flipping the coin.
Exactly. Yeah, you could choose heads 10 times, and heads can only land once,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But then vice versa, right? Heads can land 9 times and tails land once.
So it always is a 50-50, right? What takes the probabilities in our favor is how we wait for the setup,
exactly.
right? All of the checklists that we have.
Yeah.
And if things are in our favor, maybe that setup will be 70%, 80% in our probability.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
trading
But
plan.
when we're in the trade, we also don't know. There's no trader that can say, listen, I know the market's going in this
Yeah.
direction. No one knows. We're all speculating, right?
Yeah.
But based on the data we've read, we are basically taking on a risk, calculated.
Yeah.
It's a risk nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's just calculated. So I know I'm comfortable to do this. If things go my way, this is how it will play out.
Right.
If things go against me, this is how it will play
Right.
out. Whatever the scenario is, I tell traders all the time, whether the trade is a win or a loss, it doesn't really matter. You know why? Because tomorrow you have to trade again. Irregardless of the outcome.
That is very
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to retire based on today's outcome.
No.
100%.
So why are you so invested in today's outcome?
Yeah.
You know?
That's I love that tip, and I'm actually going to steal it.
Okay, with the last questions coming up to a wrap, and being on psychology,
Sure.
being the head of analysis at HFM, how do you deal with the pressure? Having thousands of people looking up to Lethu to say, well, listen, Lethu, we're following you. How does it affect you, and how do you deal with it?
So it's a very great question, my brother, because a lot of people have been asking me, how did I feel when I was placing, for example, a live trade in front of hundreds of people? How do I feel when I'm trading in front of thousands of people? And for me, it's all about understanding that I'm the master of myself. At the end of the day, I'm showing people that it is possible for you to come to the market, have a process, understand what it is that you're going to execute. And, whether the trade is a win or a loss, I'm 100% emotionally detached. I don't even worry if the trade is going to be a win or a loss.
Right.
Okay. What I'm mainly focused on is, did I follow my process? Yes or no? If the answer was yes and I took a loss, I accept it.
Right.
Okay.
If I followed the process and I took a win, I accept it. Right? So I'm not really defined by having eyes on me, because I already know it doesn't mean anything if I lose today. It doesn't mean that I'm a losing trader.
Right.
100%.
Right? Today's loss doesn't define me as a trader, because I know that tomorrow we can be talking a different story.
Yes.
Right? So I understand that the process I'm going through, and I always give this to the people, I have a method of psychology that I use. I call it the PEER system. PEER, P-E-E-R.
Okay.
Right? The first P is for planning and patience.
Okay.
E is for execution, how I execute. The second E is for emotional detachment.
Right.
Right? And the R is for risk management and risk reward. If I can answer all those things, like I have a setup, I'm patient, I've planned it,
Yeah.
I know how I'm going to execute, I'm emotionally detached from the outcome, and I know how to manage my risk, then I'm confident to go for it.
Yes.
I don't question. Once everything is aligned based on how my methodology is, I don't question the trade or the setup or myself. I execute with no fear,
Yeah.
let me say.
100%. And I like your answer, because that's something like how I operate. If it plans out, or my checklist all ticks out, okay, right, we enter the trade. If I hit the stop loss, I hit
Yeah.
stop loss.
Yeah.
And throw hate or do whatever you need to do. But I know that, listen, yeah, I checked out my plan. My plan was good, but it didn't go my way. Unfortunately, maybe it could have been the orange man that said something. But
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We can't control the outcomes.
Yeah.
But what we do control as traders is the discipline. The outcomes come from the discipline.
100%.
And that's life in general. It's not just trading.
Yeah.
You won't control how life pans out.
True.
Yeah.
But how disciplined you are. If you're in the gym every day, if you're eating healthy, if you're handling your business, if you're doing right by people,
Yes.
things are bound to play out right for you.
100%.
So
And that's just how it is in trading as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's such a big topic that on its own.
Yeah. We can go on and
can
on.
Go on
Yeah.
For real,
days,
for real, my
for
brother.
days.
But it's exactly what we talked about when we spoke about emotional detachment.
Yeah.
It took me maybe 4 or 5 years to really understand the value of being detached.
Yes.
Right? Because now I can be objective. I have a bird's eye view. I don't involve myself. Okay, you took a loss today, but look at it from a different perspective. How could you have done things better?
Better.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. So
Yeah.
good. One question before we wrap up, right? One last question. I just want to touch on fundamentals quickly,
Sure,
right?
sure.
What are the things, or let's not talk about data too much, but what are some of the sources that you use just for our listeners or watchers?
For fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
Okay, so obviously mainly the one I go through is the HFM economic calendar,
Right.
just to have a full understanding of how the week is looking. What
Okay.
am I expecting? What are the red label news I need to know?
Right.
Right. Then from there, I can do some finer research going into websites like investing.com, FX Street, just to understand what is the geopolitical situation,
Right.
understand what are the expected numbers, etc. What do the numbers mean?
Right.
If we increase interest rates, what does it mean?
Yeah.
If we decrease, what does it mean? If they stay the same, what does it mean? For example.
Yeah.
Right? So once I have that understanding of what is the overall economic situation, now I go to the chart also knowing that, okay, if 1, 2, and 3 plays out, this is how I'm expecting the market to play out in terms of the price action. Because we are all price action traders, right?
100%.
We can trade the market that we feel for. We can trade the market that we think is going to happen, but that's not the real market. The
Yeah.
real market's the one in front of us.
100%. That's
And
very
we mustn't form unnecessary biases. If you can see that you're wrong, you're wrong. And if your bias is correct, obviously take advantage.
Yeah.
Right? I always say, if the cow has milk, milk the cow.
Cow.
Because it won't have milk
Yeah.
forever, right?
Yeah.
There's a window of opportunity as a trader.
Yeah.
So if things are aligning for you technically, fundamentally, and you got the right direction, take advantage
Yeah.
in that window, you know?
No, that's such good advice. Yeah.
Yep.
Lot of
Powerful,
tips. Lot of
powerful,
tips. I won't even
powerful.
lie to you. You know, that's why I love love what we do, is because
100%. We learn
like
from
learn
each
from
other.
each other.
Yeah.
You know, we can have conversations, and I'm always learning from
Same
our
thing.
guests.
Same
But
with me.
besides even guests, you know, outside of our podcast and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, whenever we're having chats with other traders, you learn so much, because
100%.
everyone's experience is different. You
And
know,
I believe as traders, we need to learn from each other.
100%.
You know, I find that sometimes maybe there's unnecessary ego or competition between traders when we could be learning from each other.
Exactly.
100%. And I mean, today we're sitting at FX Cartel, and one of the reasons for this trading lounge was to bring traders together.
Yeah.
To learn from each other.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Doesn't matter who you are.
You guys are doing a great job. I'm very
Yeah.
But also we've run out of time, and this was too short. We need you
Yeah,
on an episode 2.
Definitely,
Yeah.
we're gonna hop on an episode again.
Yep.
And shout out to FX Cartel.
Thank you, brother.
HFM for just putting us in this position. You know.
Yes,
Where
for
sure.
it's always the best place.
And
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Guys, if you guys want to see a specific person on the podcast, comment.
yeah,
Comment.
Drop
right?
us a comment.
Drop us a comment. Let us know who you want to see on the podcast. We'll try and make a plan and get them onto the podcast. But until then, we'll see you guys.
Need to Shoot Film, your podcast home.